If you haven't heard, there's this company called Wayfarer that just fired 550 people. An estimated 550 people who worked at Wayfarer lost their jobs last Thursday in what has been dubbed Wayfarer's Valentine's Day Massacre. On Thursday, hundreds of U.S. employees were asked to gather in meeting rooms at the company's Boston headquarters or to log into Google Hangouts for the mandatory meeting. These employees were told that they would be losing their jobs at the company effective immediately. This is your neighborhood public announcement reminder that there is no job security at all. And before, all the people in the comments are like, well, Josh, that's just business and that's how it goes. Look, dude, I understand that business has to restructure. They're not making a profit. They got to let people go, whatever, right? That happens. I get it. I understand how business and capitalism works. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you, the employee that works there, the one that bought into all the family garbage, the one that bought into all the culture garbage, the one that bought into believing that that was going to be your lifelong job and you were going to work there for 40 years until you retired. That's who I'm talking to. And I'm telling you to grab some control over your life. Take control. There is no job security. This isn't 1950. There's no pensions anymore. I mean, maybe for certain areas like the government and places like that, but in general, there's just no job security. There's only job skill security and your ability to basically sell yourself. Like, you should always have a backup plan. You should always have something on the back burner. If anything, just apply for jobs while you have a job. Just go ahead and just start seeing if anything's out there on the weekends. Just apply. You don't got to respond if you get any takers. You don't have to take any of those interviews. You just be like, I'm just going to ghost them. But hey, now you got emails that you can just reach out to if you're ever in a time of need, like these people who just got let go. Everyone says, oh, go to school and, get a good engineering degree and, you'll have that safe, comfortable job security. Well, some of these people, I'm just going to say it, some of these people are so brainwashed, they're thanking the company for letting them go. And they're like, I'm so happy that I was part of the Wayfarian family. That's what they call themselves. They call themselves Wayfarians, and it's dumb, but you're not part of a family. It's all garbage. Don't buy into this stuff. Just look out for yourself. Always look out for yourself. A family is not going to throw you out without a notice. They're not just going to kick you out. That's not what family does. If family's going to kick you out, they're going to let you know. They're not just going to be like, oh, it's Friday, by the way, you don't have a job anymore. That's not what a family's gonna do to you. So stop buying into that garbage. That's not a thing. Just remember, you're told that you have to give 2 weeks notice to the company before you want to quit. But the company does not have to give you any notice at all. I know in Europe, right, people watching this from Europe are like, what is going on? You need to give like a 90 days notice or 6 months. That doesn't happen in America. In America, we have this thing called right to work, which basically means they can hire you and fire you same day if they want to. And so for all of my American homies out there, realize that, understand that, they don't have to give you any notice whatsoever. It might be a courtesy if they do, but in my experiences of all of my jobs, they were just like, it's not working out because of something we did or because you cost too much or because they don't even have to give you a reason. They can just say, hey, we're done, bye, get out. That's how it works in the United States. So always look out for yourself. You can never consider that paycheck consistent. I know a lot of people think salary is, salary means I'm just going to get paid and, no matter what, and it's very stable. Salary has nothing to do with job security. Salary has nothing to do with payment security. Salary just means this is how much you get paid regardless of how much work you do. Here in the United States, you don't really get paid overtime. Not if you're making around, I think it's over $29,000, you're not getting paid overtime. You should always have a side hustle. You should always have something to fall back on. And yes, I understand that's a lot of work for people to constantly be on the lookout for themselves. But if you don't want to end up in this situation where you're trying to figure out how to pay your rent because you just made a down payment on a house because you thought that this company was going to take care of you, hey, maybe you should listen. Maybe you should start putting in that work on the weekends. Maybe you should start thinking about some way to not have to depend on the man. All right, let me calm down for a second. I received a comment from someone on a video that basically said, well, let me just show you. Bro, why are you so disagreeable? And I said, because everyone is a yes man. And he said, better to be a yes man and be content than be a no man and salty. Positivity, you should try it. The reality is that in this world, the employer holds the upper hand, and we can't be mad about that because in the end, it's them who pay our salary. Of course, employees are important, but just as long as it's beneficial for the employer. We're in the best time in history, in a sense. Best standard of living ever. If you always feel taken advantage of maybe you've got the wrong perspective. Fortunately, you can change your perspective, which is more doable than changing external circumstances. Now, I'd like you to take a clear look at this. Just read this comment for a second and understand this is what it looks like when someone has given up, when they've just submit. This is what you'll get when you try to go out on your own. This is what people will say to you. Just get a real job. Have you tried telling your CEO that? Because everyone else did. His friends and family did, 100% guaranteed. And you're in the best standard of living right now in all of mankind and all of history. Yeah, I mean, if you're not fucking homeless, I guess you have a good standard of living with running water and a roof over your head. Probably a bunch of people out of these 550 people at Wayfarer that are about to be homeless because they made a down payment on a house or a down payment on a car because they assumed that those paychecks were going to keep flowing, you know? Oh, and if you feel like you're going to be homeless and you feel pretty upset about it, maybe you should just change your perspective. You're not homeless, you're living in a luxurious box, okay? Just change your perspective about it. It's a lot more work to actually try and change your circumstances in life. It's just, oof, that would require effort. This is what it looks like when people give up. This is what it looks like when people submit to the man, people submit to corporate. This guy right here. Basically, people are so brainwashed into believing this garbage that I'm part of the company family and I'm really excited to be here, and it's none of this is true. And that's the whole purpose of my channel, is to explain, always look out for yourself first. Yeah, play the corporate game, go get a job if you want to, but just understand the employer is there to make a profit. At least in corporate America, at least in capitalist America, the employer is trying to pay you something so that you can make them more money than they're paying you. That's just profit 101. And a lot of people go in thinking that it's more than that you have to have a relationship with your boss, and that you have to go out to lunch with all your coworkers, and you have to team build, and you have to make spaghetti and marshmallow towers. And none of that is true. You don't have to do any of that. I mean, every minute the boss man isn't looking at you and you've successfully completed all your work for the day, you should be considering, all right, well, if I didn't have this job, what would I do? And of course, I understand that is going to add stress to people's lives. But you know what's more stressful? Figuring out how to pay your rent when you don't have the money or any means to get the money. And people wonder, you know, oh, you must be really, really hard to become homeless in the United States these days. It must be really difficult. You really got to burn all the bridges. It's really not that hard to become homeless in the United States. It's really not. Good people end up out on the street. And then it's just a downward spiral, because once you get evicted or once you fall behind on your mortgage, your credit goes down. And once your credit goes down, you can't get a new one. And then when you go get a job, the company checks your credit and they're like, oh, you've clearly messed up here. And you're like, no, I just got let go and I've been trying to find a job. And then you have a job gap, and then no one wants to hire you because the job gap gets longer. And so the more you try, once you're homeless, the harder it is, and everything just makes you look bad. Like you didn't do something right as a person, and so it's your fault that you were homeless, and you obviously must just sit on the side of the road and do nothing. I hate seeing this happen to people. I don't want this to happen to people, because it happened to me. And then the first time it happens, you're like, oh, well, I guess that's just how it goes. Companies got to do what they got to do. I'll get another job. And then it happens again, and you're like, well, shit, like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. This is not my fault. And then you go get another job. And it happens again, and you're like, okay, what's going on here, you know? It takes a few times for a person to realize, like, okay, maybe the company doesn't actually care about me. And for a lot of people, for those people fortunate enough to never experience that, hey, more power to you, and you probably won't understand what I'm talking about. But for you people out there who have experienced hardship, not because of your own cause, not because you didn't work hard, but because the dude above you said, yeah, he costs too much money. He has a resource that's just not in our budget, you know? If you haven't experienced that firsthand, maybe it's really hard for you to understand. And once you've experienced it, it's really hard to trust people again. It's really hard to put your livelihood into someone else's hands. All right, so here is a big Google Drive that's circulating around LinkedIn for all these people that got fired. Or actually, this isn't all 550 people. This is, what is this? 346 people that have gotten let go. And as I was looking through this, you'll notice that these weren't like the non-essential positions, you know, like some, you know, like customer service. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with customer service, but I'm saying like these are full stack engineer, software engineer, QA, iOS engineer, analyst. And you can see over on the side what these people specialize in. You got Hadoop, React, Google Cloud, AWS. All of these things are supposed to give you a safe and secure job, yet here they are on a list looking for another opportunity. And then I noticed if I do Control F and I type H1B, you'll see in here that Thomas Lee needs an H-1B. Imagine relocating your life across the world to take a job, and then that job lets you go, and now you have to get another company that's willing to sponsor or continue to sponsor your visa, or you're gonna get deported. You're gonna get deported and banned from the United States for 10 years because you took a job opportunity. How is that your fault? You know, I mean, I guess it was your choice to accept it, and you should know the risks, right? But like, people don't think about that. They're thinking about the positives and the upsides of the opportunity of relocating to the United States. But Mr. Thomas here, he's a software engineer. He needs an H-1B because he's only got a few weeks before he's gonna get kicked out. And that sucks. That super sucks. You just see in here, all these people, these are not underwater basket weaving people. These are not art history people. These are software engineers, UX research coordinators. These are people who should have job security. But no, it just doesn't. It doesn't exist. And if I go to LinkedIn and I type in hashtag Wayfarer layoffs, you can see the employee Stockholm Syndrome, the people who have yet to recognize the company is not there to take care of you. The company is there to take care of them and make profit and keep you satiated while they do it. We got Eric here. Absolutely, I'm just gonna say it, brainwashed. As a former Wayfarer employee, I can speak firsthand of the valuable experience and opportunity provided by the company. Saddened to hear so many of my friends and former colleagues were impacted by the news yesterday. Like, how could you be so nice? How could you praise the company that just took away your living? Just accept it for what it is and move on. Stop. Just stop. This is Stockholm Syndrome. Like, yeah, they gave you an opportunity. You don't have to make a post on Instagram about it to save face. If you're gonna miss your colleagues and your coworkers, just send them a text message, right? Because apparently if you're close with your colleagues and your coworkers, you probably have their number, so just send them a text and be like, yo bro, I'm gonna miss you. Don't make a post about it on LinkedIn praising the company just to look good for other companies. No one even needs to know this happened. Just move on with your life and understand that they never cared, and you writing this and praising them is not going to give you your job back. It's just not going to happen. Sorry, Eric, so stop. We got another dude here, Kyle. Today was most certainly a tough day, as I was unfortunately one of the 550 plus Wayfarer employees that was laid off due to organizational workforce reduction. You could call it whatever you want. You could call it downsizing, you could call it workforce reduction, you could call it layoffs, you could call it whatever you want. Dude, you got fired. Dude, you got let go. Although an emotional day, I'm reflecting on the experiences I gained within talent operations, project management, and leading a large team that was full of talented people. First off, Kyle, talented people are most often confused for hardworking people, so you should give them the credit that they deserve. They were hard workers and you got to manage them. But stop this. Just stop. I know you want to look good for other companies. Look good on your resume, look good in the interview, look good on your cover letter. You don't need to do this. This is insulting to everyone who feels pissed off, basically. You know, I would be completely upset. Like, if I look at some of the layoff.com reviews of what happened, let me read you one. This company is probably a curse word. The company has no direction and the leadership team has no long-term strategies about their business. I interviewed with Wayfarer in June 2019, received an offer, blah, blah, blah. Why hire an employee, screw up their lives, ask them to join, and then fire them in a month? I was told they approach a last in, first out. What sort of organization hires a role when they don't need one for it? Strange, but true. The company has serious problems. This company model will never make them profitable and will not sustain long term. It will close down in near term. They don't care for employees. This company spends more money on shipment than the actual product cost and sell China-made products. Sorry to say this, leadership have no idea what they're doing. This was the easiest way for them to ease their investors. They put me in a difficult spot. Okay, this is the part that matters. Hiring me, asking me to relocate, and then when I make it there, they fire me. And now this is just one person out of 550. Now you have to understand, people are living their lives assuming that their salary is just going to keep coming. And like I said before, it's just going to keep on coming in, and they're going to be able to grow and have their lifestyle creep and whatever it is that they do. And you know, Thomas, right? He needs an H-1B just to keep it going. This is just really, it's just unacceptable. It's just absolutely unacceptable. And for all you people that like, and for everyone that disagrees with me, hey, that's great. You go ahead and disagree with me, but when this happens to you, you'll understand. You will absolutely understand. Companies are getting more and more cutthroat about it, and they're getting better and better at disguising it. They will call you company family. They'll say we have a great company culture. They'll say we have great team building exercise and we have great perks. I don't want perks. I just want money and autonomy and flexibility to go and do my job and then leave. I shouldn't have to work 100 hours to be able to get a raise. I should be able to do my job well to get a raise. So you just understand that is the world that we're moving into, and I'm not trying to be fear-mongering. I'm just trying to be realistic. So please approach this with a grain of salt. Your mileage may vary. Here's another one. Yesterday was a difficult day as I was one of 500 plus Wayfarians whose role was suddenly eliminated, meaning they didn't get a 2-week notice like you're supposed to give. During the brief 3 months I was at Wayfair, I had the best time collaborating with and learning from my brilliant colleagues. Like, what does this do? Just let it go, man. You were fired. Yo, shoot the bird to that company. I understand that people don't want to burn the bridge, but if you're never going to cross that bridge again, burn it down. Who cares? At least that's my line of thinking. Well, you never know who you might need to contact when you're in a hard time. I don't want to contact people who treat me this way. I don't want to do it. Sorry, that's not for me. You're going to treat me like that? The bridge has been burned. I don't care about saving face anymore. That's just how it is for me. I'm not going that direction anymore. It's bye, see you later. I don't care, burn it down. But people just don't get that, I guess. To everyone else who was impacted by Wayfair's workforce reduction, let's stay connected and help each other succeed. Please Hi LinkedIn community. As many of you know, Wayfair underwent a mass layoff this week, and unfortunately I was one of the many laid off. I left a tenured position I valued and declined other opportunities to take a risk. So here's another thing that you should think about. You decline other job offers to take this job offer. And now, I bet if it happened recently, then you're probably kicking yourself in the butt. Like, why didn't I take that other job offer? And I already told them no. So in a way, I kind of burned that bridge. So if I come back to them, and it's like I'm crawling back to them, and they're just not going to give me the time of day. And that super sucks. To decline one job and to take another job, and then suddenly you're like... Yesterday was quite a day for Wayfair, and I'm feeling for those in my Way fam that are directly and indirectly impacted by the Wayfair layoffs. Yeah, I mean, you still work there, so that must be nice. And so, I mean, you're obviously just trying to save face and being like, oh, I feel so bad for you, but low-key, my rent's about to get paid and yours isn't, so I'll do the bare minimum and share this Google Doc with my LinkedIn network because one like equals one respect, you know? It's so dumb. Although the creative team was not directly impacted, we are an incredibly collaborative work environment and our colleagues are now looking for work. Someone compiled this growing list of employees who were let go, so network, please help them out. If you were impacted, please add your name to the list so that recruiters can contact. Bro, if I knew that my company just let go 550 plus employees, I'm about to be looking for a new job. Especially, you look at the stock has tanked 13%. That's hard to bounce back from unless you're like Elon Musk and Tesla, you know? And this is no Tesla, this is just drop shipping furniture from China. I would be looking for a new job in 2 seconds. It's like, okay, I'm so thankful to be here, but like every minute that I was at work and the boss was looking away, I'd be looking for a new job, Katie. Just pro tip to you here. There's no job security, only job skill security. I don't know how many times I have to say it, so stop buying into it. Stop thinking Big Brother's just gonna take care of you because, you know, you're living in a great time right now in humanity. Like, best quality of life. I mean, if you can maintain a job, and it's not always easy to maintain a job, not because you don't wanna work, but because people just don't wanna pay you. Well, that's your fault, not always. It's not, and until you've experienced it, you can't know. But for those of us out there who have experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. So keep on that hustle, respect the hustle. Oh, and here's something that's super shitty about the situation. Every time there's mass layoffs, you'll see on LinkedIn, you'll see a swarm of recruiters going in to make that fatty paycheck because you know that's their job, to get people jobs. So you got a bunch of recruiters that I'm sure there are good-meaning, you know, well-intentioned recruiters out there that want to get you a good job. But more often than not, there's recruiters that are swooping in to take advantage of this situation and just promise everyone, oh, wow, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Lucky for me, I happen to be right here looking for your best interest, not for my paycheck, but for your best interest. I actually have 13 jobs that would fit you. Look, no recruiter has 13 jobs that's going to fit you. Maybe one of those would fit you, but hey, they're just going to throw you at everything. It's like a spaghetti noodle thrown against the wall to see if it sticks. That's what recruiters do to people. Again, I'm not trying to say all recruiters do this, but a lot of recruiters don't care. They just want to make that paycheck. That's how they put their bread on the table. And it's just disgusting to me that people do this to other people and pretend to care about these people that have fallen on hard times just so that they can make a fatty paycheck. And go look it up. If you scroll through LinkedIn, you'll see a bunch of recruiters. Unfortunately, my friends at Wayfair, and if you ever need anything with opportunity, let me know. I happen to be a recruiter looking to hire a few people, and I have your best interest in mind, not mine, not my bank account in mind. I promise you that, and it's just all a bunch of lies. Whenever something bad happens like this, someone's about to make a shitload of money, and in this case, it's going to be recruiters. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Anyways, that's all I have to say in this video. Hopefully you take something away. Hopefully you walk away and you don't buy into this anymore. At least, I mean, maybe it takes time. For some people, I hit close to home and it takes time. I understand that, but I just don't buy into it. Just do you. Always do you. And you're not selfish for doing it. You are not selfish for looking out for yourself. people are going to call it that way. Okay, it's your life. You got to be with yourself 24/7. Just ignore it, and always look out for yourself. All right, that's it. That's all I have to say. I'm not selling you anything. If you like the video, click like, click subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.